Okay, so we reviewed and previewed a different type of a text set and a different type of a writing prompt on Tuesday, just to kind of give ourselves a glimpse of what we should expect on the mock FSA. We're working with this text set on volcanoes. What is the first thing that you do when you approach a text set? The very first thing. Kartik?
Go to the writing prompt page.
Go to the writing prompt page. Just stop for a minute and I want you to reflect. Did you do that when you did the mock? You need to think about that. Did you take the time to go directly to the writing prompt page? Okay, so what do we do once we get to the writing prompt page? What do we do? Lynn?
We write down our thesis.
Okay, so first we have to do something. We can't just write down a thesis. What do we have to do first? What do we have to do first? Jackson?
We have to read the directions.
Read the directions. Okay, so everybody right now look down and read the directions. Mark the directions with important keywords that tell you what kind of an essay you're going to be writing. It's going to tell you exactly what kind of an essay they want you to write. What kind of an essay are you going to write, Faith? An informational essay. Sometimes it'll say explain in the directions. So when we look at this word explain, make sure you go ahead and put a box around it if you haven't already. This word explain tells us that we're writing an explanatory or informational essay. So we're not giving an opinion. So no, we should not hear any opinion words in this thesis statement. What specifically are they asking us to talk about? Evie, what are they specifically asking us to talk about?
How people are affected by volcanoes.
How people's what? Lives are affected by volcanoes. And we have that right here. Now, once you've read the directions and you've figured out what kind of an essay that you're supposed to be writing and what the topic of that essay is going to be, what is the next step? What is the next step, Kale? To write a thesis. And we can call this a temporary thesis because we haven't really read the text set yet. So we want to make sure we're on topic, but we know that we might have to go ahead and tweak it a little bit once we read the text set. So what could be a possible temporary thesis for this? Sarah?
Volcanoes can affect people's lives.
Okay. So we get it straight from the directions. Volcanoes can affect people's lives. And guys, we need to really make sure that we're aware of paying attention to our grammar. Capitalize the first word in a sentence. Spell the words, especially they're all right here, and punctuate at the end. What does affect mean? What does AFFECT mean? What does it mean? Oscar, what does it mean? You don't know what affect means? No? Okay, pick somebody with their hand up. Maybe they can tell you what it means.
It is like what happens after.
What happens as a result of, right? What happens as a result of. Okay? Now, we've been pretty good up till here, but I want to remind you of something else that we're supposed to do. When we've been looking at the learning progressions for reading, and we've been talking about when we're writing about our reading, okay, what should we identify about a text set? What should we be looking for before we start forming our written explanation of something? Sohan?
You should be looking for things that you could use to prove your answer.
Absolutely, but there's something else, and this might be a brand new step. I may not have told you guys about this, or you might remember, yes?
3 boxes.
Okay? What you need to be looking at is the text structure. So just looking at these directions and what they're asking you to do, what text structure should you use, Arav?
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect. So when you go to write your essay, the transitional phrases that you choose for a cause and effect essay are going to be the cause and effect transitions. They're going to be the ones that are on the chart that you have about text structure. And guys, this is really important. Everything we do connects to something else we do. All right, so we've been trying to remember what text structure is and how you identify it in reading. Now we're going to be actually using it in writing. We're applying what we know to our own writing. All right, does everybody get that? Can anybody give me an example of a transitional phrase that would be used in a cause and effect text structure, Isabel? Well, that's more sequential. That's more sequential. Muboni? As a result. Kartik?
The cause.
The cause.
Then.
No, that's a sequential. Evie?
Therefore.
Therefore. Arav?
Because of this.
Because of this.
In effect of.
Okay, in effect of, or something like as a result, because of. All of those things are cause and effect. All right, so think about that very carefully. Because when we're asked to write an explanatory or informational essay, we might be given the task of also including a text structure to it. Think back to what we did in literary essays. What was that last essay that we did? We compared and contrasted two pieces of literature that had the same theme. So we identified ways that they were similar, and then we talked about the differences within the body paragraph. Okay, so today what we're going to do, now that we've looked at this, what would be the next step? Think about what you're supposed to do. What's the next step? Is your hand up over there, Jilly? Yes? What do you think? What should we do next? Okay, so now we're ready to read. Okay, so look at all the work we've done before we even start to read the text set. And hopefully you remember to do this work, not yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Good grief. When you did your mock FSA. It seems like it was a week ago. So when you did your mock FSA. So you're going to flip back to the beginning. And you're going to read. Okay? But you're not just going to read. One of the things I have to tell you, I've read all but one of the essays that you guys wrote. The only one I have not read yet is Connor's, because he's sitting in the office doing it now. Okay? So I have read every single essay, and I have to tell you, one of the things I noticed is that some of you, I think, probably freaked out a little bit when you were faced with given a prompt and given a time, and you forgot to mark the text when you were reading. Okay? I know that I am not the first teacher, and I know that this is not the first time I have told you to annotate the text. That's when you're marking things down. Now, let's pull something from another thing that we're doing in Reader's Workshop. In Reader's Workshop, you are doing research on severe weather or natural disasters. Okay? And each of you are focusing on a subtopic of it, correct? All right, so think in terms of subtopics when you're reading this. Yes, you're going to read. Yes, you're going to underline anything that you think is going to be applying to how a volcano is affecting or impacting or changing somebody's daily life or somebody's life. Okay? How are the people affected when a volcano erupts near them? You are going to focus on that, but I also want you to be thinking about the subtopics. Let me show you an example. Let's start reading this text set. Source 1, Disaster Creeps In. Kilauea, Hawaii. From Scholastic News, January 5th, 2015. Treston Palos School has been shut down since November for an unusual reason. It is in the path of fiery hot lava. Treston 10 lives in Pahoa, Hawaii. The town is located about 23 miles from a volcano named Kilauea. In June, a river of lava began oozing toward Pahoa. Okay, I'm stopping and I'm thinking, okay, this volcano is impacting schools. Is education a subtopic of somebody's life? Absolutely. So I'm just going to write over here in the white space, I'm just going to write the word school. I don't have to write a big sentence. I'm just going to write a subtopic. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to continue to read. And if you hear another subtopic that we need to notice, raise your hand, give me a thumbs up, let me know, and we'll figure out what we need to write next. Treston and other students were sent to different schools. Treston now attends class in a temporary trailer in the parking lot of a nearby high school. Sophie?
He has to move. Like schools.
Okay, but what is the subtopic?
Moving.
Think about it for a second. Moving might not be a subtopic for everybody. Does anybody have another idea? Nia?
They don't have the best schools now, so they don't move.
Stop and think. Give me a one-word subtopic that I should write in the white space near this. Somebody I haven't called on yet. Oscar?
Friends.
Does it say friends in here at all? There's no mention of friends in this paragraph at all. What do you think, Brooke? What is paragraph 2 talking about? A one-word subtopic. Alana's, help her out. Lily?
Home. Oh.
We need to keep trying this because we're not getting it. I don't like it, Tristan says. I miss my friends. Students aren't the only ones who've been affected. Some Pahoa residents have evacuated. Some roads have been closed, and a few stores have been shut down. People still in the town have packed their belongings, so they're ready to flee if necessary. What are they talking about now, Austin?
Affected.
Well, the whole essay is about being affected. Can we be a little bit... Evacuation, Gianna, thank you. Evacuation. Is that impacting their life? Yes. Okay, much better. Do you see what I'm talking about? Okay, can you underline? Absolutely. If you see a quote when you're reading and you want to put it into your essay, and you know already you do, you can underline it. Now, what you're going to do during the work time is you're going to go back to your seat and you're going to read this text set by yourself, and you're going to continue this work of writing one-word subtopics in the white space. If you finish, I have a pile of planning sheets on the center table here. You can come and get a planning sheet, and then you can start to plan your essay. Remember, when you plan your essay, you're using the boxes and bullets that I've taught you. In the cloud at the top is your thesis statement. It is written as a full sentence, just like we did on the writing prompt page. Okay? So after you finish reading, go back and look at that. Is that going to work? Is that thesis going to work? Do you need to tweak it a little bit? Is it going to work? Then from there, you're going to write, remember your 3 boxes that drop down? You're going to write your main ideas, each of them in a complete sentence. And guys, one of the things I did notice that I think we could probably fix really quickly and easily is some of you are very repetitive, which means you repeat the same sentence structure, or you repeat the same words and change only one. Okay, so start thinking about being a little bit more creative with your main ideas, okay, so that they sound a little better. I'm already planning a mini lesson on that, and we'll revise the mock FSA on the animals that live with us. We'll revise that so that you can practice. Okay. Also, don't forget the shortcut I taught you when planning. The planning shortcut. Remember, your bullets are just paragraph numbers. You have underlined what you're going to use in the paragraph. So you don't have to sit there and copy down the whole quote or exactly what you want to say. Your bullets in your boxes and bullets can just be P1, P7, P12. And in that paragraph, you need to make sure it is underlined in the paragraph exactly what you want to use. All right. Any questions before I send you back to do your work? Yes.
Like when we write our essay in the boxes, when we write like paragraph 7, do you have to write the paragraph symbol, or can we write a normal P?
You can write a normal P. It doesn't matter to me. That paragraph 6 symbol is for when you're editing something. And you're not editing, you're planning. Any other questions? Okay. Please follow the current and go ahead back.